Hey guys, it's Holly. I decided to just sit down and have a conversation about something that matters in the world today. Okay, so hi, what's up? I'm an American. And today in America, there has been a lot of issues and a lot of stuff that's been happening over the past year and a half, um, just in our country. Um, but the biggest, not necessarily the biggest issue, but like a really big issue in our society today is the net neutrality, and pretty much we have net neutrality laws in place right now that says um, everything on the internet has to be neutral, and that internet companies cannot discriminate, and they have to be neutral and no matter what on their internet. So therefore that means that they can't charge for extra services. They can't discriminate on speed because some companies paying them to make their website run faster but not another website. Like let's say like Google was paying AT&T to make Google run faster instead of Bing. So, um, pretty much the internet company cannot make Google run faster because Google's paying them. Like that's just ridiculous. I already said they can't charge for extra services, stuff like that. And so today it's an unscripted kind of extemporaneous speaking on my opinion on net neutrality. Now, I suck at extemporaneous speaking, especially in the United States extemporaneous speaking. So, why I decided to make this video and put all this pressure on myself, I don't know. Okay. All right. So, gosh, I don't even know where to begin. Um, Pretty much, the United States wants to repeal the law of net neutrality. So, oh God, I'm so awkward. I'm really sorry. Um, so pretty much what that means is that they're giving the internet companies the power to do whatever they want on the internet, and that's not really fair because that means that they can make um, like black people's internet slower than white people's. They can make Google run faster than Bing. They can separate different websites into packages and into and like they can sort different websites and different medias and different things into pretty much internet companies have the power to do whatever they want to manipulate what goes out there to you. And this is like a huge problem because first of all, I am a teen. What's up? Just turned 16. What's up? So that was really awkward. I'm sorry. But pretty much, I spend almost all of my time on Facebook, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on whatever. And, like, my entire life is just texting my boyfriend and scrolling through Instagram. Like, that is my normal. And if I'm not doing that, I'm looking up guitar tabs on the internet. I'm looking up how to play music for my violin. I am looking up cheats to video games. I am helping myself do my homework, stuff like that. Like that's the normal everyday stuff I do on the internet. But pretty much, all of that stuff could just be separated into packages on the internet. So not only are you paying for the internet itself, you are also paying for the luxuries of that internet. Like if Markiplier said something on one of his videos, yeah, okay, a gamer, yeah, okay. I'm so lame. It's pretty much Markiplier said something on one of his videos that said like, how would you feel if you went on the internet and you just went on YouTube and then all of a sudden the browser you were on said that like, oh, I'm sorry, you didn't pay your entertainment package for this month. Please pay $15 to continue, right? Um, and that could be a huge problem because first of all, since without net neutrality, the internet companies are going to have all the power to to overlook what goes out to you. So like, let's say that AT&T is really, 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 really for gun control. Um like they just want no guns in the country whatsoever. AT&T. I'm not saying that they do. I just made that up off the top of my head. This is just an example, but pretty much AT&T could just block every website, every article, every person, every post that says that no gun control is inherently good. Um, so therefore, you have to believe that there has to be gun control because that's what AT&T believes, um, and if that's who your internet provider is, and that's where you're getting your information is from the internet, then if that's where you're getting all your information from on the internet, then you kind of have to believe that because they're just kind of manipulating what you see, and eventually what you see on the internet forms what you think. I mean, back in my parents' day, it was like magazines and radios and songs and like TV shows. Back in my grandma's days and my great grandma's days, it was books and newspapers and stuff like that. So pretty much what you see and what you read and how you get informed forms what you think. So therefore, if the internet company can control what information gets out to you, then you kind of have to be manipulated, and that's not a good thing. Therefore, that means that everybody just thinks one way, they think the same way because of what an internet company thinks. Like, that makes zero sense to me. Also, another thing, I do debate, yay me, and pretty much writing my case, I have to write a pro and a con case for all of my for every round, every tournament I go to. Pretty much every month there's a new resolution or a new topic, and I have to write a pro and a con case because that's how. Oh, hey, look, got a notification. That's cool. So pretty much, if my internet company only believes the pro side of this argument, then I'm only going to see stuff for the pro side, and writing my con side would be absolutely impossible because that's the only way I get my information for debate. Is I always cite news, I always cite articles I find on the internet. Like, it would just be silly. This is actually what my debate coach did, but like, it would just be silly nowadays to take a political magazine and photocopy it, highlight it, and make that into a card. When really all you can do is just copy and paste, download the article, and just highlight, and that's your card, right? Like, it's so much simpler now, and that would just be really impossible to do. Yeah. So pretty much, like, everything we see can on the internet can just manipulate how we think because repealing the net neutrality law will control what we think. Also, like, as a generation and as a society, we depend on social media and we depend on websites. Like, that's the normal now. And by making us pay, that's kind of just an evil thing to do. Making us pay for something that we depend on. I mean, we can live without Facebook. We can live without Instagram. Like, I'm not saying that, like, oh my god, I have to see the new thing on Instagram. Like no. But, like, my cat is behind the camera and she's just shaking because my bed's shaking as I'm moving. It's funny. Okay, but pretty much. But I mean, like, having to pay for internet and then having to pay to use what you paid for, it's just kind of a silly thing. And another thing that this Markiplier guy said, this Markiplier guy, another thing that he said, is that, like, you have to pay for water. No matter what, you have to pay for water, no matter if it's bottled or if it's filtered, or if it's from the tap, if it's your bath water, if it's your toilet water, if it's your whatever water you have to pay for, unless if you're drinking it straight out the river. So pretty much, like, you don't have the just clean enough water that will just get you by. And then for $10 more, you can get the water that is impeccably clean, and you don't get diarrhea over, right? Like, that won't make you sick. You can have just good enough, or water that won't make you sick, right? Like that is just something that doesn't happen in our society, because we all need water. We all need clean water. And I'm like Donald Trump doing this. Okay. But for some reason, we can do the same thing with our internet, even though we have to pay an internet bill. We have to pay an electricity bill. Also, for electricity, you don't have just good enough electricity, which with dull lights and with your air conditioner and your heater just barely working. Or you can have a lot of electricity for like $15 more. No, everybody gets the same amount of electricity, right? So pretty much, and also the current events of this situation too is that I think it was last night. Was it last night? I don't know. I read an article about it in Chemistry Today with my boyfriend. Pretty much I read an article with my boyfriend, and it said that like the federal government now voted from a 2-1 to give the voting power to the FCC, because the FCC is really the one that like overlooks it, but Congress is the one that made the law. I'm like conducting right here. Hey. Okay, but okay. So now the FCC can vote like, hey, net neutrality no longer a thing. And the head guy of the FCC, I forgot his name, but like the head guy of the FCC does not want net neutrality at all. And I can see why. It'd make them a lot of money, but it's not fair to us. So I'm gonna close the video with this like ending little message thingy. Write to your Congress people, write to the FCC, and tell them why it's important that we don't have things blocked on the internet. Because if you have things blocked on the internet, then your mind will just be controlled. And do your own research on it. This is just from what I found, and this is something I'm passionate about, because we need the internet, and if we don't have net neutrality, I'm probably moving to Canada, maybe. So, I'm kidding, I'm not moving to Canada, but, I really don't want to pay for my Tim Hortons with Bieber tails, but that's just me. Anyway, but write to your congressmen, write to your senators, write to the FCC, write to anybody with a higher power at a federal level, and tell them why it's important that we keep this law in place, because it's important. Like, I already wrote to last night, I wrote to Claire McCaskill, Roy Blunt, and Sam Graves, who are my senators and my representatives, because they are, the people from Missouri that are representing me. So, from whatever state you're from, please write to to anybody, because it's important. I will leave links in the description and the little down bar thing to help you find who your representatives are, to write to them, and if not, then you can just Google how to email my representatives, because I probably will forget. But guys, please, this is so important, and we need to have. Why are my parents so loud? Anyway, so please write to them. It is so important. And with that, yeah, that's really all I gotta say here. If you want to subscribe, then that's cool. I normally don't talk politics on here. I normally just like try and be funny with whatever I can on a school Mac. I did two covers. They were both really bad, and they were both on my guitar, and they were really bad. So if you're interested in seeing music stuff that is also filmed on a Mac, then came to the right place. But yeah, net neutrality is an important issue, so please support the internet any way you can, because we gotta save it.